because I didn't know what I was going to do with brain damage. That is what led to Did Anybody Die? Because in those early days, it was kind of like, is he gonna live? And that puts everything in perspective. And I'm sure all of you have stories like that. I mean, whether it's a parent, something happening to a parent, or a sister, or a friend, or anything like that, you just have to put everything in perspective. And you have to keep reminding yourself, because you still do kind of forget, and things get overwhelmed. And that's when maybe that's why I've become the talk me down off the ledge, because a couple employees will call and they'll say, okay, I just need to talk to you. Like, I got this, and what about this, and what about that? And it's just like, it's not that big of a deal. Did anybody die? And I also know, I trust the employees, I trust everybody, we work with, we know hard workers, there are some things out of our control, put it in perspective. And I think that's very important for your family. I mean, you have to think, if you had to make a choice, would you choose your business over your family? Never, no way. And if you did, then you shouldn't have a family, maybe. But so I say that's a little harsh, but yeah. So that's the Did Anybody Die? Put it in perspective. The days of success if nobody died, and that takes that a little lightly. I don't mean to make that lightly. Really, the days of success if nothing catastrophic happened. And what's catastrophic? I mean, there's truly, for me, the big things were make payroll and be with my family. Those were like the important things. Payroll, because that's other people's families. You don't want to mess with other people's families and other people's money. But those are the key things. That's truly what's most important. Positive thinking is a way of life. I'm also kind of the overly optimistic person, and that's drive my husband crazy. Something happens to the car, something happens to whatever. I'm like, it's not that big a deal. Oh, it'll be okay, kind of thing. But again, put it in perspective and be positive. And if you're positive, your family will be positive. And that just translates into your business. And again, I think just the positive, optimistic outlook will get you far. Risks are mandatory. There is a risk, really, with putting your family over your business if you're a CEO or if you're starting a business. But that's mandatory. That's life. That's the way it is. And again, be confident in your decision making. Be happy with the decisions you made. No regrets. And be positive. Optimism is contagious. And that's true. I mean, if you are positive and I do that to overcome my husband again sometimes. He's a real laid back, very, he doesn't spool up about much at all, but when he does, we balance each other very nicely, because I'm the perky, happy, it's okay, it'll be all right, and then pretty soon, he comes down off the ledge. So, anyway, and again, lastly, no regrets. There's one more thing I would probably put in there, was thinking about with the optimism. This is what I grew up with my mother. Say your prayers. That was always her answer. It was never anything like, in depth, like, I'm stressed, I'm worried about whatever. Say your prayers, Carol. Just say your prayers. And she still does that. And my mother works for me, actually. My sister does our payroll. My mother does our accounts payable. My father does our bookkeeping. Again, yeah, we're at 170 employees. I have a few other relatives running around there too. But and it's worked out quite well, because again, they're people I trust. We're very open, communicate. So when I say family, balancing family and business, truly, family is a huge, huge part of my life and a huge part of our business. So. And big, long summary, which I'm not going to really read too much. It's just one other thing to add that I think ties to family that I've talked about, and I've just kind of learned this dealing with other companies. Remove ego and greed from the equation. If you can put aside ego as a CEO or as running your own company, anything like that, if you can put that aside, and if you can put aside greed, you'll succeed. There's no question. And you have to put those aside if family's going to be important to you and you're going to be able to, again, balance the family. So get those two out of the equation and you'll win. And that's all I have.